What is up, everybody? We are back with our team reviews, and we are looking at the Green Bay Packers today. A team that's going through a lot of change. Dad, are the Packers done? Are they going to be last in the division or third in the division? Are they going through a rough patch? What do you think?
Yeah, they're done. They're toast. So party's over. Packers ain't making the playoffs. It's time to move on to Jordan Love. I have a prediction about Jordan Love I'm going to hold on to until we talk about him. But as far as the team,
Better than Goff?
hell no. Golf's at least played for a number of years. Jordan Love has sat there and got slivers in his rear end, and it's not his fault. But anyway, Packers, I think they'll be 7-10 or 8-9 in third place in
that's very generous.
Yeah, third place for the NFC NFC North.
Yeah, it must be nice to be a Packers fan to have 30 years of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no shit.
Quarterbacks and
I'm
MVPs.
I'm so glad that's over with.
Yeah, 7 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl visits. And
Do you know how many bandwagoning fans those teams picked up just because of Rodgers and Favre? And most of them don't even know where Green Bay is, and I'm just glad it's over. Everybody can start burning their jerseys and
sound like a bitter Lions fan.
Yeah.
They can start burning stuff like they live in Detroit, right, Dad?
Yeah.
They don't burn nothing. They might burn each other or something.
You don't live in Detroit.
No, I don't.
But we're going to get into it, the fantasy side of things, and real. We'll throw in real football stuff too and dynasty stuff, but mostly from a redraft point of view for 2023. And we approach it from a half PPR league, but a lot of it can be applied to others leagues, PPR, standard, whatever you like to do. And we're just going to get right into it with the quarterback position, the guy we were just talking about. Jordan Love gets his opportunity, almost identical to what Rodgers went through. Drafted in the 20s as a first-round pick with a Hall of Fame quarterback there coming to the end of their career, have to sit for 3 years. That Hall of Fame quarterback goes to the New York Jets. Both of them did it, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And now you take over, and it worked out well for Rodgers, really, really well. Maybe not his first year, but look at what he turned into. Can Jordan Love be that? That's the big question. Brian, any interest in Jordan Love this year in redraft? I mean, it's like a backup quarterback, maybe take a chance on him, or
honestly, I don't know. I don't know when you're drafting Jordan Love in a redraft. Besides, if you're taking a late round flyer on a second guy, maybe if you're taking like Deshaun Watson or Anthony Richardson, again to play off a little bit of what I said last time, because I kind of feel like those guys are kind of at the end of the guys you feel really good about, kind of those quarterback 10, 11, 12 guys. You can take him on the opposite end, like if you take a Kirk Cousins or something and you take Jordan Love as your last pick, maybe he's going to outperform him kind of a thing. But I think it's kind of a little bit of a tall order. But I mean, it happens almost every year, where these guys kind of outperform what we think they're going to do when you're picking them that late. So I feel like there's no risk, basically. Just take him if you want him, if you're feeling him, if you're a Packers fan or whatever, but I'm not drafting him.
Yeah.
My general
I just
want to just say this about Jordan Love. It's not where I'm going to draft him and all that other crap. I think the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, I think he'll look pretty good. And then finally, the NFL will get some tape on him and they'll be able to figure out. And I think as the season progresses, he'll just kind of, turn into an average Joe. So that's what I think about Jordan Love.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be fantasy relevant. You're basically your first year starting. It really is. Not many people do it. Mahomes did it. Herbert did it. So he does have a good head coach and offensive guy that can maybe set him up and put him in the best position possible. But we're going to get to it. I don't necessarily think his supporting cast is like this amazing supporting cast either. So I think. I mean, he's a 2 quarterback super flex kind of play to me, and that's really it. I mean, that's kind of all we have to say about him. There's not much else behind him. It's going to be Jordan Love. They got to see what they have in him, So he's going to get the whole season unless he gets hurt, in my opinion. So, but we'll go to the sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I was saying offer a 2nd round pick in Dynasty Superflex for him now. If you think anything for him, especially if you're like trying to rebuild or anything like that, I think he's a buy, just because of all the unknowns and stuff. He's got young talent around him, so I don't know. I think he's probably going to be a little bit more expensive after this year. I don't know if he's going to do a whole lot, but
yeah, I think he could be good. Like I liked him coming out of college and. The Packers obviously liked him too, even though they had Aaron Rodgers. They traded up and took him. So there's a reason they did that for sure. It is nice to see something new though, that's for sure. But the running backs, not so much new stuff here. Kind of the same 2 guys. We got Aaron Jones. We got AJ Dillon. Right now, I'm just gonna look it up. Aaron Jones is currently going as the RB16, and he's going late 4th round. And AJ Dillon is RB32, and he's going almost 100 overall. So what is that, 8th round or so?
I'd say buy both.
You like both?
Yeah, I like both where they're going, honestly. AJ Dillon is like the cheap man's Aaron Jones, I feel like Aaron Jones has done nothing to lose his spot. Like we all definitely think the Packers are going to be not as good as they have been historically, but I mean, even look at what they did last year when they weren't good at all. And Aaron Jones was still RB 10 or something like that. So yeah, he'll do it again. Again, the whole he's going to be involved in the pass catching game. The touchdown opportunities are probably going to go down a little bit, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, he's the seasoned vet on the team. He's been a part of a winning team for literally years. He's on his 2nd contract. They trust him. They know what he can do. And I mean, the offense is going to run through Aaron Jones. So
yeah, Aaron Jones is, to me, the only fantasy relevant player on that team. I know the wide receivers are getting there and stuff like that, but Aaron Jones, yeah, he's the top offensive dog on the team.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking one of the receivers before I take Aaron Jones.
No, I don't think I am either. So.
Yeah, I'm not taking Christian Watson before Aaron Jones. But I like where Dillon's going also, as he's involved. It's not it's not quite a 50-50 back split, but I mean the guy can catch the ball too. I feel like it's kind of he's kind of the 1B. He's not super he's not a sexy pick or anything like that. But if you're getting AJ Dillon, which is basically 75% Aaron Jones, 4 rounds later, I like that too. So I think that's where the value is.
Yeah, Aaron Jones has been a top 12 quarterback for 4 straight, running back for 4 straight years, and a couple of those were in the top 5. I know people are a little worried about his age, but I'm not so much. I think we're learning more, and I kind of looked into it myself. I think it's just we're doing ourselves a disservice if we just say like, oh, you're 29, you're no longer good. I think we got to look a little bit beyond that and see like, well, how many carries do they have? What kind of workload do they have?
Yeah, we're looking
things
to
like
the
that.
player in general, right? Like it's not just the number and then they suck.
No, and Aaron Jones does not have a big workload. He barely has over 1,000 carries in his career, which is 6 years long, and Derrick Henry has that in like 2.5 years. Like he has way less of a workload than a lot of running backs his age, and he can catch the ball. He has basically 50 catches for 4 straight years, which is really, really good. So I still like him where he's going. A little bit of a boom bust guy. Kind of has been his whole career. He'll have like a 30-point game, and then he'll have, a 9-point game, a couple of those, right? So, but where you can get him, fourth round, late fourth round, he's going around guys like Kenneth Walker, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, J.K. Dobbins. Like, yeah, I like Aaron Jones there, for sure.
It's so easy to pair him with another like solid ass RB1, like you can get like a McCaffrey or, even like a Chubb, a Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Like you can easily get any one of those guys with Aaron Jones. And then like, I feel like Aaron Jones kind of lightens the load off of the guy in front of him a little bit. Like he doesn't have to be your number one guy. You're not drafting him in, as like 15th overall or anything like that, like, which is probably like where he went last year, right? Like probably like mid second round. And I don't think he's done anything to lose his job. So I smash value, like just get him.
Yeah. I have to say though, I think I'm kind of out on AJ Dillon. Like I think he hasn't proven anything. I'm just looking at his game logs the last couple.
I agree with that. I'm toast on Dillon.
Yeah, and just looking at his game logs, it's not like he hasn't gotten the opportunity. He has multiple games of 15 plus carries, 18 carries. He's never had 100 yards rushing in his career, I think, unless he had it his rookie year. But he's had a 20 carry game, a couple of 20 carry games, and never had 100 yards rushing. Like it's just at the point of like. I think, he is what he is. And I don't really, even if like Aaron Jones goes down, like I don't necessarily think AJ Dillon is this smash play like we kind of thought he would be. So I don't know. I'm just kind of out. Like, yeah, if you want to take him, that's fine. He's going 98th overall, like we said. But, he's going around like Antonio Gibson, Khalil Herbert, Alvin Kamara, but that's, the suspension stuff's baked into that. Like, I'll take those guys. I'll take a chance on those guys and hope they hit over, AJ Dillon, where, like, what does 70 yards rushing do for me, really? So that's kind of where I'm at.
I kind of disagree that, like, I think Dillon is, like, if Jones does go down, like, he is kind of the smash play. Like, he might not be, like, putting up RB1 numbers every week, but like he's gonna be given the opportunity. He's gonna be the guy like in that offense, but I guess we're all kind of expecting the offense to be as bad as it was last year, or even if it is like slightly better, it's still not that exciting. So I get it.
Yeah, and again, it's not like it's this case of like, it's not like a Tony Pollard case where it's like, oh, we see Tony Pollard put up 100 yards on 10 carries, and like, man, if he could be the number one guy. We've seen AJ Dillon now 2 years of he's consistently getting 15 carries, 20 carries a couple times. He just hasn't done it. You would think if you are talented, you would have done it, at least flashed a little bit more. It's just my only concern. Like, I just don't think he's going to be this huge smash play. Like, even in games where Aaron Jones missed, I think it was 2 in 2021. 53 yards for AJ Dillon, 63 yards as a starter. Like he didn't smash. He did have 6 catches in one of those, but it's just like we're expecting so much more, I think. But again, I'm fine if you want to take a shot on him in the 9th round.
Yeah, I think the appeal for him is like they obviously trust him in in the red zone, in the green zone. You know, like they trust him in the passing game and stuff. So, like, it is kind of easy to see him like taking over the role, like whether or not like he does anything with it, which I get with what you're saying. Like, yeah, like I guess we'll have to wait and see. He definitely hasn't done what we thought he was gonna do, but
no. And he does have a 100-yard rushing game his rookie year. That's where I think a lot of the hype came from. 21 carries, 124 yards, 2 catches, or 2 touchdowns. So I think that's where we kind of like, yeah, A.J. Dillon in 2021 is going to smash, and then never did. So he was being drafted very high that year. I think like 6th round or something, if I remember right. Not much behind them. We like Aaron Jones. Brian, you're in on A.J. Dillon. Me and Dad are out. But we'll move on to the receivers. We have Christian Watson, you know, probably the number one guy. Would be a little surprised if he's not super surprised if he's not, but you know, as of now, I think he's the number one guy. He's being drafted as the number one guy. He was a rookie last year, and he flashed for a 4 or 5 week stretch. Looked really good there after about midway, halfway through the season. He's currently being drafted as the wide receiver 25, and that means you have to take him. You have to get him in the 5th round. How are we feeling, Dad? I'll let you start. How are you feeling about Christian Watson this year? Are you looking 5th round? Are you okay with him?
Barely. I know you could list some other wide receivers that I would like a little more, but I think Christian Watson showed enough to me playing last year as a rookie with Rodgers. And now, you know, I think the team, you know, knows, they understand, hey, we got a new quarterback, so we need to play better. You know, let's you know, we can have a connection with Jordan Love and stuff like that. Rodgers was out and, you know, smoking some hookah or, you know, taking some LSD or some shit like that, and didn't want to hang with his young wide receivers. So I think, you know, Watson and Dobbs, I think both will be okay. But yeah, I think I would take Watson at this point.
So let me ask you, and Brian, I'll open this up to you as well. Like the guys going around to Watson or Terry McLaurin?
Well, geez.
Brian, what do you think? What do you guys think?
Brian,
I like Watson there. Well, I mean, honestly, like I kind of feel like it kind of comes down to team build. Like if you're talking about like Watson in the 5th round, so is he your wide receiver 2 or is he your wide receiver 3 kind of a thing? Definitely, obviously feel better about him as your 3rd, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends. Like, I feel like you can maybe get both of those guys in your team. Again, like, yeah, I think it would kind of come down to build. I kind of like Watson there a little bit more, but yeah, I think I would take Watson.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, those are the guys. He's going around guys like DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin. These are the guys he's going around.
Wow, those guys are pretty established too.
They are.
Yeah, Kirk's not. I would argue that.
Kirk?
Like, established?
We underrate Kirk.
Established, yeah.
So established based on one season is what you're saying.
No.
Well, two seasons.
Yeah.
He had 1,000 yards almost in Arizona, 2021, 982 on. So
yeah, I'm not really
I'd
counting.
say 2.
Not really counting that first part, like with Arizona, because
Oh,
I feel like.
So what do you do? Just ignore it?
Well, let me ask you this. Let's reverse, like, let's go back in time 12 months. And what did you think about Christian Kirk then?
I think he was.
No, all right. You thought he was what?
Didn't think he was very good.
Yeah. Okay. So just because he had one good year with a quarterback, like, are we giving like the more credit to Lawrence and like Ridley is not going to have any effect or anything like that. You see what I'm
No.
saying? Like, I don't
Well,
know.
you go ahead.
Christian Kirk established.
You
That's
go
all.
ahead and draft Chris Godwin, and I'll take.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
take Christian
Godwin's
Kirk.
way more established. There's established for you.
Yeah, really.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah, well, what I'll say, I mean, we'll get into Christian Kirk when it comes to Jacksonville. But I do think a lot of people are sleeping on Christian Kirk a little bit. Even if I understand the Ridley thing, and even if Ridley is like, well, as he's called himself, like he is him or whatever, I still think there's enough room in that offense to basically Christian Kirk to do almost exactly what he did last year. So, and I think they get lunch together, Lawrence and Kirk. So you got to remember that. I think Kirk's a little better than people are giving him credit. But going back to Christian Watson, yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say about him is his big 4 weeks. He basically had 4 weeks, and he had 7 touchdowns on 15 catches, and that's just not gonna happen over a stretch. You know, maybe it happens over a 2-3 game stretch, or like it did, but that's not something you bank on. Almost a 50% touchdown percentage for your catches. That never happens. So. Yeah, you had a couple 100-yard games in there, but like something to keep it, just something to think about. Like, I think this is fine where he's going, you know, in terms of the potential. Like you said, if he's your wide receiver 3, you take a shot on the potential, right? So, yeah, I mean, beyond that, like there's Romeo Doubs. What do we think about Romeo Doubs? I mean, I know there's kind of reports again, like he's Jordan Love's main guy. Like, are you more in on Romeo Doubs where you can draft them in you know, round, I think 12 essentially? Are you a little more in on him? Like, I don't know, Brian. I'll let you start with Romeo Doubs.
I say Boomio Dobbs, as in he's gonna boom. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, I don't know. It's hard to get super excited about this offense in general. You know, like the best you can do, I think, like in the passing game, is Christian Watson. Like Dobbs, I'm not drafting him. Like maybe late, like my last pick or something like that. I don't know, just like for like the pure potential. But I mean, rookie quarterback, like unestablished, like pecking order. Haven't seen anything yet. I guess I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not super excited. I'm not totally out on him either. But yeah, just throw him in your lineup in round 15 or something like that. Like, or if you feel good about him, round 12. All kind of the same shit.
Yeah, I would definitely take a shot on Dobbs in the double digits. So yeah, round 12 is where he's going. I would take a shot on him just because like he could be to me the number one guy. And those are the guys I like to take a shot on where it's like, you know, everyone's anointing Christian Watson and he's the main guy, but like there's a chance it's Dobbs. Like, I don't know what percentage you want to put on it, but it's like, you know, 10%, 15%. I'll take a chance on that in the 12th round.
Would you rather have him? Would you rather have Romeo Doubs or Nico Collins?
I'll go Dobbs. I'll go Dobbs because, yeah, just because like I expect a little more from the Packers offense than I do the Texans offense, and I don't know. I'm not super sold on Nico Collins. Like, I think he's intriguing, but you know, the fact of the matter is like we've seen 2 years of him kind of being like the main guy, like one of the main guys. At least 1 year of him being the main guy, and like it didn't translate into too much. So he could hit, but I'll take a chance on Dobbs. So
I like it. I like it.
Dad, anything you want to say on Romeo Doubs? Were you okay with taking a
No,
chance?
not really. I need, if he's going to be a fantasy relevant player, you better show up this year. because last preseason and this preseason, he's kind of somebody's blowing his horn for him, saying he's making catches that are great and stuff like that, and so we'll see. Somebody's gonna have to catch a lot of passes for the Green Bay offense, and it ain't gonna be Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Well, it might be Aaron Jones to a certain point, but I mean some of these wide receivers. And the third guy, he is getting his horn tooted, Jaden Reed. But is he worth drafting in a redraft league? I doubt it. If a dynasty league and you're drafting rookies only, yeah, you need to take a look at this guy. I watched him play at Michigan State, and very good ball player. So we'll see how it turns out.
In case you guys didn't know out there, Dad is a huge Michigan State fan. Go Spartans!
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I was real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, when it comes to like the wide receiver core, or just like the Packers in general, like I feel like if you think you're gonna be good in general, or at least better than they were, or let's say mediocre. Let's say Packers are gonna be mediocre this year, then Watson probably makes sense, and then Dobbs is a great value at like where you're getting him, right? Like with the possibility. But you have to kind of believe in the Packers. Like you kind of have to like be buying into them a little bit. I think it's kind of easier to just go with the running game. Like it's kind of the easier answer, and then you just kind of wash your hands of the receivers.
Yeah. But again, like once you get to rounds 12, like what are you really losing if they don't hit, So that's just what makes Dobbs intriguing to me. Like he's going around like Tyler Boyd. Like we know what Tyler Boyd's gonna be. Rondale Moore, like you said, Nico Collins, KJ Osborne. Like these are guys that are all, besides Nico Collins, like clearly like 2 or 3 on their team. So. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up with there's no Jaden Reed. I mean, I was gonna say I feel like I haven't heard much about him. Dad, I guess you have heard a little bit about him when the training camp started.
Not a lot, but I have heard a few things. Yes.
Yeah, Dad's very dialed into Packer waiver wire.
He loves them.
All the time in the world.
But yeah, no one else to talk about here. Tight ends, not too much. I mean, it's again 2 rookie tight ends, Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. The only thing I will say is a lot of people are like Luke Musgrave is way more valued than Tucker Kraft, and it doesn't really make sense to me because they're like, I understand like one went in the second round and one went in I think the third or fourth, but for tight ends like that doesn't matter too much to me. It's like Tucker Kraft has just as much of a chance as Luke Musgrave is to be like the main tight end, but we're not really excited about the receivers. I don't think we're very excited about these.
Yeah, full on waiver wire. Not even best ball, honestly. Like, I mean, you definitely can in round 18 of best ball, but like, I don't know. Fucking why? Like take Noah Fant instead or something. I don't know. Unless you really believe. I don't know.
No, not really. I mean, don't. Definitely take Noah Fant over these guys. Dad, anything on the tight ends? Are you interested?
No, you said it all. 2 rookies, let's wait and see.
Yep. So, Dad, we know your prediction 3rd place for the Packers. Brian, do you think Packers are a playoff team this year with Jordan Love at the helm?
No, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, I could see it, like, because I feel like that division is a little bit more open than it seems. Like, I mean, we saw Minnesota last year, and like basically like win like 7 out of 8 like one score games barely kind of thing, or whatever it was. Like they weren't very good. And then we kind of saw that in the playoffs with them getting knocked out by. Did they get knocked out by the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just kind of like a little bit of a shit show. So I don't think any of the teams are any like that good all around. Like so offensively. I mean, honestly, I think the Lions kind of had the best shot, but I think it's kind of taking a lot of leaps in terms of faith. Like we're kind of like going off of, oh, their offense is going to be like what it was the second half of last year, or their defense is, or like we're kind of like picking and choosing on like what we want from these teams. So I'd say they definitely have a good shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's any of the other 3 teams, honestly.
Yeah. I generally agree with that. Vikings had a negative point differential last year, which is not what you see with a team that went like 12-5 or something like that.
I think it was 13.
13-4.
I think so.
Yeah. To have a negative point differential is
right.
Very, very strange. But I'll go third place. I'm rooting for the Lions this year, so we'll see if that comes back to bite me. But we'll finish up there. Packers not super interesting. The next team not so interesting, which is the Houston Texans. And we'll be back with the Houston Texans in, I guess, tomorrow in YouTube world. As always, like the video and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.